So, this one's gonna be about stoicism. I still don't know what it is actually pronounced, but this is what it's all gonna be about today. So, yeah, stay not tuned because everybody says it, just stay freaked out. Yeah, no, never mind, cringy shit. Well, yeah, I do just remember that I should probably set up my cool anti-echo setup so that there's no fucking echo. Because there's actually a bunch of echo I've noticed just by doing this. And it would just be totally nice as well. Maybe I'm actually going to listen to my own shit on my way into the city, because I then just have to buy myself some bottom-up shirt. Unfortunately, because I really don't like buying things in general. I don't buy anything, nothing. I really don't buy anything, but food. The only thing that I'm actually kind of using my money for is food, and even with food, I'm like just really, really, really trying to not just actually throw my money out of the window, and or just use a bunch of my money. I just always try to be as cheap as fucking possible. Sometimes it's quite insane, to be honest. Sometimes it's quite like, okay, people ask me what's wrong with me. Well, maybe only my girlfriend, because I'm just really taking it to another fucking level. The only thing when somebody asks me to do something, one of the main thing that is in my head is, okay, it's gonna cost me some money, and therefore I'm not gonna do it. I'm just really that, like, well, maybe it isn't even healthy anymore. But yeah, as I've already said in the intro, we are going ahead with the Stoicism or the Guide to a Good Life summary from the paulminus.com website, featuring, or this book is basically from Arvine is his last name, I guess. But yeah, the last time we actually went through a bunch of things, for example, external and internal change, which was actually, or should have been actually, the last one. Therefore, we are going ahead with outside of our control, which are actually a bunch of things, and it is very important at this point. Still, I think I've been kinda touching it some sort of in the last episode as well. I'm still going to go through it because I guess, at my point of view, it is just one of the most important things there is. The only problem that I'm quite having is that I only have quite 3 hours. Well, okay, 3 hours I think is enough to just do everything, because it is now 1 p.m. On 4 p.m. I gotta just get to the train, so some sort of 4 p.m. Well, is 4 p.m. good? Then I have 5 p.m. Well, I either have 2 hours or 3 hours, but yeah, I'll see. I've actually recorded everything up to this point. I've also uploaded the other episode, so yeah. Therefore, there shouldn't be a lot to be concerned about. So yeah, the next thing is outside of our control. Nothing is worth doing pointless. Nothing is worth doing pointlessly. Well, this somehow makes sense. I've eaten so fucking much. The meal that I had just right now was the first meal I was having today. And I first of all eat some lentils and rice, and then afterwards I've eaten some oatmeal. Because normally in the morning I always eat my oatmeal, and then just when it's noon, I eat whatever there is, or whatever I cook myself. And I eaten just quite my breakfast, my actual breakfast, and my lunch that I'm having, well, after each and another, which means that I fucking ate a fucking bunch of food, which is just really fucking me right now, because it is so fucking much. So it is foolish for us to spend time with things outside of our control. Marcus Aurelius observes, nothing is worth doing pointlessly. Instead, it is worth focusing on what we have complete control of, the goals we set for ourselves, our values and our character, as well as our thoughts and beliefs and our mind in general. All those things we have total and complete control over, which is, if you think about it, it is just amazing. You can just put everything into your mind. Your mind is fucking limitless, which is amazing. I'm getting a little philosophical there. So, for example, when playing a tennis match, a Stoic would set an internal goal over which she has complete control, to play to the best of her ability in the match, rather than an external one over which she has some but not complete control, like playing to win the match. By doing so, she will spare herself frustration and disappointment should she lose the match, and her internal tranquility will not be disrupted, which is actually quite the case. And I pretty much like this example because this was actually one of the examples that I've never heard before, actually, which is something which is something that I quite enjoy, quite always, because often you just step across or you come across the exact same thing, and or example, whatever it actually is, just in general, a lot of things are just the same nowadays. I'm not really gonna fuck with the generation now, because I believe every generation has its own flaws, and actually saying things like, okay, this generation is so bad. Well, I don't even know if it's actually the truth, besides the whole fact that the last generation actually parented us. So am I actually the newest generation? I'm born 2001, which makes me 18 now. Well, I don't know. But still, the thing is, they parented us. They fucking parented us. Therefore, it is basically their fault and not ours. Even though, to be said as well, is that actually blaming somebody else for some things that might be bad for you, or that some things that you are fucking up all day long, just some things that are, not good. Then blaming somebody else just is exactly the thing you should not be doing according to what we've just went through, because blaming somebody else gives him or her the ability to change the whole situation and also change how you might be feeling, if it is just somehow a part of the equation, which means okay, if you blame yourself for quite a lot of things, even though going extreme with it is actually also not one of the best things, I would say, because actually being okay, I'm to be blamed for everything, whether it is a hurricane, the volcano that just exploded, or whatsoever. Well, I don't know if this is gonna make you that happy if you're just if you're the one to be blamed all the time. But the thing is, when you blame yourself, you totally have control over the whole situation, because you are the one who just made a mistake, or you are the one who is being blamed, or who should be blamed. Which means that, okay, you just have to change something up, and then the whole situation is good again. When somebody else is blamed, this person has to just change something up, to just do something, and until then you can't do anything. You basically have to wait until this person did something so that the whole situation changes, or potentially changes. But yeah, let's move on. Fatalism towards the past and the present. To preserve tranquility, Stoics approach the past and the present from a fatalistic, it's actually fatalistic perspective, relating to or characteristic of the belief that all events are predetermined and therefore inevitable. Inevitable. Is it inevitable? I don't know. Many have an almost fatalistic attitude towards their own health. He gives a fatalistic shrug at the bleak future. Well, we have no control over the past, nor do we have any control over the present. If by the present we mean this very moment. Therefore, we are wasting our time if we worry about past or present events. Instead, Stoics spend. I really hope that now the quality is still good. Yeah, I really hope. Because I was just cold, I'm very sorry. Okay, actually for you there is no change in the whole thing, because, I'm gonna cut it anyways. There's going to be 2 files both are going to be cutted together. Therefore, well, there's nothing to complain about. Yeah. For all the YouTube viewers now, they know what I'm just talking about or loving about. Well, yeah, where have we stopped? I think I'm gonna just read it again, just because I do not know where I've stopped. So to preserve tranquility, which is still something that I do not know, Stoics approach the past and the present from a fatalistic perspective. We have no control over the past, nor do we have any control over the present, if by the present we mean this very moment. Therefore, we are wasting our time if we worry about past or present events. Instead, Stoics spend their days working to affect the outcome of future events. Even when they contemplate the past, they seek lessons that can help them shape the future. Which for me means, or so what I'm seeing there, what I'm hearing there quite is that they just really go for long-term goals and long-term strategic moves. Which means, like, okay, one of the easiest examples and one of the examples I think that I'm always going to talk about is food. Eating unhealthy shit is not going to be good for the short term nor for the long term, which is actually something that's relatively interesting because, well, yeah, having something that's bad in the short term to some degree, and then also bad in the long term. Well, why are we doing it then? Bad in the short term, but also good in the short term. Good in the short term in terms of, okay, you know what? Chocolate just tastes good. Let's be fair. Let's be real. Chocolate just tastes good. And all the other sweets, they just taste good in the short term. The problem is, for your health and the long term, or for your health in the long term, probably not the best thing. Probably really not the best thing. The thing with healthy food is, well, sometimes in the short term, it is not that just tasteful, not that tasty, even though it can be. It totally can be. It is really not like, okay, healthy food is just not tasting good, something. It really can. It just also depends on, how you're preparing it and other just factors at my point of view. But still, it's going to be just good for the fucking long term. And you're going to totally change the outcomes of the future by eating healthy, by just living a healthy lifestyle. Because, chances are pretty high that you're gonna be just in good shape, that you're gonna feel energetic because you're in good shape, that you're gonna live longer also because you're in good shape, and all those things. So yeah, this is what I mean and what probably they also mean in terms of shaping the future. And or me by telling it or just being like, okay, they're probably going for the long term rather than the short term. Voluntary discomfort. Stoics sometimes undertake acts of voluntary discomfort in order to appreciate what they already have and increase their enjoyment of life. For example, they may choose to go outside in the cold for a while and then come back in order to really enjoy the warmth and sense of shelter. Such minor voluntary discomforts can help them grow the necessary confidence to withstand major discomforts as well, easing future anxieties. Likewise, periodically foregoing opportunities to experience pleasure can teach us self-control. The funny thing is what I'm seeing there, which is just really fucking funny. It is just really quite funny to see that basically they are doing a lot of things that I am doing as well. Would I say that I'm just living kind of the happiest life I can have and whatsoever? Probably not, because just, kind of in the meantime, recently I've been just really a little bit struggling with just being a little bit overwhelmed by what I'm doing all day long, like, doing the videos, doing the posts, just basically trying to give myself as less leisure and free time as I possibly can give myself. Still, I'm totally just watching a bunch of YouTube and just having a bunch of leisure every day. I'm really having it. I guess it might be 4 hours or something, probably, maybe more. I don't think it's more, probably a little bit less, but I don't know. I should actually kind of, um, I should maybe monitor it once or just see and look for it and what it actually is. But, well, it is just the case. Like, I'm really trying to not give myself a lot of freedom, leisure time, whatsoever, which might not really be the best thing for me. But I don't know. I'm still in my process of just seeing what works best for me and just noticing what is not good for me, and all those things. Just trying to build some self-awareness and just trying to just see and also figure out how I should structure my life and structure my day, especially, so that I'm also happy every day, all day long, which is very important. Well-being, happiness, feeling good, being healthy, all those things, very fucking important. Very important. But yeah, in terms of the voluntary discomfort, taking cold showers, it's the exact same fucking thing. Waking up every day, this is not just the case. Forcing yourself to eat something that's healthy and maybe not tasting that good before you're eating something unhealthy that is tasting super duper well. Maybe also one way to implement it. I still think just cold showers, I guess, is one of the best examples. Is there something else that I'm doing that is basically doing that? Well, sleep deprivation. Does that count as well? By the way, please do not sleep deprive yourself. Like, please don't do it. I'm doing it. It is super fucking dumb. Please don't do it. Really, please don't do it. Even though it is just a little bit strange that I'm doing it myself, but I am just still advising other people to do just something different. Which leads to a thought that I actually have seen in a book. I actually do not remember what book it actually was. I think it could have been Ray Dalio's Principles, which was actually an amazing book. I went through it on the podcast as well. By the way, subscribe. Really, subscribe. Thanks a lot. And also just on the Instagram. So all links that might be just very interesting for you are down in the description. So please hit me up, sign up. Well, actually not sign up, but follow me, subscribe, listen, whatever. Would just mean the fucking world to me. It really would, because I'm putting a lot of time and effort into what I'm doing right here. Yeah, therefore having something back, I think it will come. And I also do just have to practice some patience as well. I'm sometimes really getting impatient. Yeah. So we have had 9 minutes, which means that when we hit 10 minutes, which means that we're gonna have quite 20 minutes. Yeah, we have quite 10 minutes to go, which is good, which is fucking amazing. The next thing is meditation, something that that deeply reminds me on just quite obviously on Marcus Aurelius' Meditation, which is a book that he has written, which is an amazing book. Like, I've only went through some summary versions of it, but still those summary versions were quite great, because it probably only consists of just some thoughts of him, some things that he's thinking about, those things. It's just, I think, only consisting of quotes. Marcus Aurelius' Meditations. It seems to be from, let's see, I'm gonna read it. I guess I'm not gonna implement it here. First page of the 1792 English translation by Richard Graves. Yeah. Quotation. My God, eating so fucking much really seems to make me a little bit, not tired, but never mind. Let's move on. Meditation. At bedtime, Senec's teacher Sextius would ask himself, what ailment, it is A-I, L-M-E-N-T, the doctor diagnosed a common stomach ailment, illness, disease, disorder, sickness. So what sickness or disorder of yours have you cured today? Or what failing have you resisted? Or where can you show improvement? By meditating on daily living, Stoics reflect upon their progress, how their relationship with others have changed, and their reactions to certain events. Signs of progress include less blaming others and boasting about ourselves, more ownership of their actions, and ultimately diminished impulses and fewer negative emotions. Stoics spend less time wishing things could be different and more time enjoying things as they are, experiencing tranquility or tranquility, whatever it actually is. Yeah, I'm totally a fan of it, I guess. I really am. The thing there is, there you can see, most people think about meditation as just sitting around doing nothing, which is actually the thing that I'm doing, even though I'm trying to, I'm still meditating every single day before I actually go to bed. For me, it seems to be the best way to implement it into my day, because it is just nice. It is just really nice to just get a little bit calmer, and also just having a little bit of an introduction to your sleep, especially also because it got a ritual of mine, and I do also think that my body just feels good knowing that I'm going to go to bed, because I was meditating right before, and because I'm doing it every single day before I go to bed. My body knows, okay, when this dude is meditating, then I'm allowed to get sleepy. I'm allowed to sleep just soon afterwards, and all those things, which is incredibly great, which is really incredibly great. Still, I'm just sitting there most of the time listening to some Seth Godin words, or his podcast actually, because it is an amazing podcast. It really is. And also because I admire him just pretty much. I just really like how he is, how he's speaking. He's very calm, which is good for the meditation. You're not going to listen to heavy metal or something. Maybe you do. Maybe this helps you actually. Well, I really don't know. The thing there is, why am I so sleepy all of a sudden? Even though I haven't even just eaten something unhealthy, which actually seems to happen quite often. When people eat something unhealthy or something particular, that they actually get tired of it. I guess I'm actually tired because I've eaten so fucking much. So much. I'm really not joking about it. And I'm really able to eat a fucking load. It is just sometimes insane that I can eat and eat and eat. And sometimes it's actually bad, because you know what? When you're at somebody else's place and you gotta just eat and eat and eat, and you're not getting filled and not getting filled and not getting filled, you're just eating all fucking day long. Well, it's not about being exhausted afterwards. It's not about being just, feeling bad because you're just, because you just still have hunger or something. It is just because you're eating their fucking food. If I'm just at somebody else's place and I'm eating there, which is something that I quite never do, but at my girlfriend's place, and there it is really tricky, because I'm eating such a load that I'm just restricting myself from eating, because I do not want to eat all their food, and I sometimes could, which is the problem. Like, sometimes it's actually pretty handy, because if somebody just makes a bunch of food and it's not getting eaten or something, then I might just, stand up and be like, let me eat it. Which is good, which is great. But yeah, let's see. Should I actually go through? No, I'm not gonna do this. It's already 25 minutes in, not really, quite 24 minutes in. I think I'm just gonna talk about certain things now. I really like the Stoic philosophy. I just really love them. Or we might just look up Marcus Aurelius. I actually wanted to search for some pages in the book. I gotta have to show you this. I really have to show you this. This is the other thing that we went through today. And this is it. Probably a little bit big, yeah. But yeah, never mind, because I'm having it on my other screen. And there, someone on Reddit is like, did Marcus Aurelius just told me to kill myself? Just grabbed my attention. And he there in the book says, I do hope that you can read it. He says, or else make a complete exit from life, not in anger, but simply, freely, with integrity, making this leaving of it at least one achievement in your life. Fucking hell. And I'm now seeing it's again an encoding overload. Consider turning down video quality. Thank you. Now it's gone. God fucking hell. I can't even just talk about some things that I'm having on another screen. Or I'm just doing it like this. This could work. This is working. Let's actually see. The thing is, there you can probably see that. Well, yeah, sometimes it consists of certain points that he is making. Like, okay, 14th, you entered the world as a part and you will vanish back into that which brought you into birth, or which brought you to birth, or rather, you will be received back into its generative reason through a process of change. Or the 15th one, often it's just really in terms of like, okay, there are certain points he's just talking about. And yeah, the 15th, for example, is many grains of incense cast on the same altar. One falls earlier, another later, it makes no difference at all. Or the 16th, before 10 days are over, you will seem a god to those who presently view you as a wild beast or an ape, if only you return to your principles and your reference for reason. The 17th, do not act as if you had 10,000 years to live. The inescapable is hanging over your head. While you have life in you, while you still can, make yourself good. Actually, pretty good advice, to be honest. Especially this just really reminds me of something that I've watched a video of Gary Vee. Sometimes my English is really off, I'd say. Gary Vee yesterday, where he was just talking about trying out things and going for it, especially when you're young, and especially when when you're as young as I am, 22, 18, 19, 20, 25, 26, when you do not have any baggage. Like he said, any baggage like children, a marriage, and all those things, you now have the time for just being who you want to be and just getting who you want to get, or actually becoming who you want to become, just because now you have time. You have a bunch of time. You do not have money, but this is not a problem because you just have a lot of time to use, basically. You don't have much money, but you have a lot of fucking time, and you can just try out things. You can try out just getting the best basketball player in the fucking world. You can't just try it. And I would totally also advise you to try it, especially when you're so young and you're able to just live at your parents' house, which is not costing anything, or you're just able to live in a studio apartment with all your friends and maybe even with all your family members, all of them, because it is cheap and because you're not going to pay a lot. Even though maybe with your family and friends, maybe only with your friends. You can do it now, I guess. You have the ability. I have the ability. And therefore I'm just really grateful that I've actually started this journey that I'm just really on right now. Quite a year ago in October, it's going to be a year. I don't know which date exactly, but I only know that's October. Maybe I think should I just look it up in the episode? Would actually be not too bad, wouldn't it? Just having this bar between my feet. I don't know when I've joined, but I'm gonna look up when I've actually uploaded the first video. There, let's see pretty quickly. I do hope that I'm not going to take too long. Video manager. It is insane that I'm so tired suddenly. Am I able to just... Well, thank you. Well, yeah, I'm able. Do I have more than 7 fucking pages of videos? Let's actually see. I've definitely started in 2018, that's for sure. But would be nice. March 2019. Oh my god, there are actually a bunch of videos that I did, and none of them actually have any fucking views, which is amazing, and which totally makes sense. Like, yeah, it just totally makes sense. I know the content back in the days wasn't as good. It still can be way better, at my point of view. It really can. Back in January, I didn't even bother to fucking make thumbnails because I was like, what? Just I give a fuck about it. Now I'm the really few first pages. Audio swept. Okay. August the 14th. I only know the first few videos were only just I've even surpassed it. Fucking hell. The thing is, I've started with just really small little videos. Do they have any clicks? They have actually a lot of fucking clicks. They have even more fucking clicks than those now. Maybe because they're not as long. Could this be the case? Could this be the case because many people don't watch the videos because they're 30 minutes long? Probably even. So the first video was on July the 3rd, and now we are quite August. Insane. And the first video is why you should keep an eye on self-development. It's probably just really shit. Not really. And I've uploaded it 2 p.m. and it is 2 minutes long. Maybe we should even make more of these videos and edit them quite well. They actually have a bunch of views, to be honest. And now let's go into the mids. Well, I do just have to say they're a year old. Probably the videos that I'm just uploading today in a year are hopefully also going to have just more clicks. I'm really looking forward to the whole progress of this. This is actually one of the things that I'm most kind of looking forward to, maybe, because there's no way around that. But yeah, with that being said, I wish you the best health, wealth, happiness, and success, and also hope that you're going to remind yourself on how you, back in the days, I've even been doing 15-minute episodes and 1-hour episodes, and sometimes even longer. 53, 35, 34, 56, 48, but the quality was a little bit different. Like the files now would just be insanely big. Therefore, I'm not includes copyright content. What? It is copyright claimed. 47 minutes of copyright claiming. But yeah, I wish you the best health, happiness, and success. And I'm also going to remind yourself on, I've actually was once doing an episode where just I had some music playing with my phone because before maybe was showering or something like this, and therefore I was having it in the video, and I guess this is the only thing. Well, yeah. So yeah, I hope that you're always going to remind yourself on how you're going to be remembered, so which means your legacy. Because you totally have it in your control, and you can totally change it up, and you have it in your hands. Even though we can't serve everyone, and even though we won't make everyone like us, just because it is what it is. But with that being said, I wish you the best, and I'll see you the next time.